I've always kind of been interested in dream realms or like psychedelic, or I don't know about psychedelic, but just these kind of alternate realms, like dreams, lucid dreams, what are they called? The shamanistic, like rituals, how they have the shamanistic drumming and it sends you to a, you know, kind of like the spirit realm. Bit my tongue for some reason. Anyway, but like that's always been fascinating to me. So I recently realized that I can actually have lucid dreams. And I realized that lucid dreams are incredible. I mean, I've actually never had a lucid dream. I've came close to lucid dreams. I think for some it's easy. Some people just naturally lucid dream. Others you have to, have a whole process. Like for me, and part of that process is, going to bed before 11. Getting good nights of rest, and ideally, sleeping in a dark room, that's cold without any blue light. And then, if you dream, you simply record your dream when you wake up in the morning, or if there's no dream, you just say you didn't have a dream. And if you want to, really, I guess, increase your chances, you either set an alarm, which I don't recommend because, and people who actually have had lucid dreams don't recommend, because it kind of disturbs you. Like, you can actually just, I've noticed, like, have you ever known you had to, get up early for like maybe like to catch a flight or something, and you were thinking like, okay, I need to get up early. I need to get up around 4. You set your alarm for 4, but I've noticed I always wake up like 10 to 15 minutes before the alarm even goes off. And I watched a video, and it's because like your brain could actually, like, your brain is conscious while you're, or I don't know, is it conscious? I don't know. Like, but your brain actually has like a clock in its head. Like, you can, if you think hard enough, I'm going to wake up at 3. I'm going to wake up at 3. You will wake up at 3. Kind of like if you think very hard of like, I need to clean my room at this time tomorrow at that time, if you focus, you will probably have the thought of, I need to clean my room. Anyway, so ideally it's called, I think it's the technique is called mild, maybe, or no, it's like, man, I'm not really knowledgeable, but what you basically do is you wake up around 5 hours into your sleeping time. I think that's the correct way to phrase it. But basically, I think around 5 hours, you enter a sleep cycle where deep dreaming is the strongest. That's why you have to, that's why if you like get bad sleep, you don't dream, because the time where your strongest, deepest dreams happen, it's cut short. It takes 5 hours or I think like 3 to 5 hours for you to hit that sleep cycle. Anyway, so I've been trying to lucid dream. I tried to pick up the practice in the beginning, like around April, and then I've started to re-pick that practice up, because I just realized that like it actually works. I mean, like, if you simply just record the best of your ability, or shoot. Yeah, I had to cut it there. I kind of lost track of my words. So basically, it's very easy to be able to recall your dreams at a, large scale. Like, for example, when I first started the practice of having the dream journal, I started off with no dreams. And so I would just write, I didn't have any dreams today. And then I remember the next day I didn't have any dreams. So I wrote again, no dreams today. The third day I didn't have any dreams. I wrote no dreams today. And then the fourth day I had a dream. Although like my vision of it was blurry, I just tried to write the best of my ability. I even probably made some stuff up. And then, the fifth day I had 2 dreams. The sixth day I had 1 dream. The seventh day I had 3 dreams that were very clear. And then I kept on having these strong dreams, and sometimes I could remember like multiple dreams in one night vividly. It really works, and it only takes probably a week for you to start recalling your dreams at an incredible, I can't think of the word, in incredible detail. Of course, you have to have good sleep habits. I mean, you can't like smoke weed and get blackout drunk and, go to bed at 3 a.m. and expect, yourself to have dreams. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're special, maybe if you're like the dream master, but no. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about dreams. I will be sharing my progress of my dream recall. I had my first dream in a while after, restarting the practice of dream journaling. Yeah, it was a weird one. I remember, I think I was in New York. I was in New York. Probably like on the outskirts of New York or something. It was a cold day. And I remember I was in the car with 2 of my friends. Let's call one of them, Let's call one of them Serge. Let's call another Antonio. I was with Serge and Antonio. That's not the real names, but, I'm just gonna call them Serge and Antonio. I don't know why, I just feel like it. So I was in the car with Serge and Antonio, and I was driving. And I remember like looking for a place to eat. We were kind of in a, shopping mall in New York, and I asked Serge, I'm like, yo, what do you want to eat? Because I guess Antonio wasn't hungry. And he was like, let's eat a cheesesteak. So conveniently enough, there was a cheesesteak shop. Walked in the shop. I was like, I had $20, and I remember saying like, yo, can I get 2 cheesesteaks? And I gave him $20, and I remember looking at the menu, and a cheesesteak only cost like $3.69. I don't know why it was that price. I just remember seeing that, and the dude was like, all right, I'll take your money. And then I just remember like kind of walking out with the 2 cheesesteaks, went back in the car, gave Serge 1 cheesesteak, and I remember as I sat down in the car, Antonio, my friend, he just was like, yo, you're a fucking loser. And I remember I'm like, damn, I am a fucking loser. So instead of eating this unhealthy cheesesteak, I just gave the second one to Serge. I'm like, here, take it. And he's like, bet, all right. Anyway, and then we drove, and then I remember like trying to park, and then I failed and like completely missed the area to park, and the car kept on running, and like the car ended up going inside like this busy New York road, and then I had to back up, and the whole time there's this like cop from my hometown who's just watching this whole thing unfold. And then I woke up. You see, like that dream was kind of blurry, but that's kind of what you got to do. You kind of got to write a dream to the best of your ability, and then they'll start getting in more vivid detail. Dreams. Try them out. Try dream recalling. Get a dream journal. You don't even have to have a journal. I mean, I recommend a journal, but just, after, voice crack, after, every time you wake up, just record what happens. No dream, the blurry details of a dream, or, the extreme details of a dream. Anyway, peace, brothers.